And Grand Island police arrested 33-year-old Corey Romero after a burglary at Edwards Audio on 3rd Street. GIPD says a suspect broke into the garage of the building and stole around $5,000 worth of equipment. After being caught on security footage, police were able to pull Romero's vehicle, locating the stolen items inside. Romero now faces several charges, including burglary, and his next court date is May 16th with a bond set at $50,000.